So,
you have control there.
I've got control now. Now you've got control.
No, it's splitting back between the servers. Okay. This is what you're talking about.
Okay, so the some of what I was going to talk about has already been covered by either Annette or Tilo, and so I was actually going to go in and show how to do some of the other things. But to start with, in terms of adding road segments to an existing corridor, that we've already been shown that by Annette. And you have to be a person who has be a corridor administrator before you can do this. So this is a particular administration right. And corridor administrators, if they are also have a role on a national basis, will in fact have 2 logins. So they will have to log in with their appropriate role so they know what they're doing. If you want to add a new group of which a corridor is a type of group, so if you need a subgroup of your corridor, if you want a new corridor, you have to add the help desk, because this can only be done at a development level. There's no way for a user to do this, but we just create the label, and then you can put anything you want into that group in the same way within the defined countries to which you have been permitted access as a corridor administrator. The operating environments, deployment and service levels, we've already been shown how you do those. So I suggest we go on to the next slide, Paul. Yeah. Just waiting up. Just waiting for the script. So in order to actually, so the EWmap works by having the background mapping, which was demonstrated, and then overlaying that is something that's called EWayNet, which is a series of shape files which are derived from other sources, which contain the elements onto which you can then attach what are called attributes, which are all the data about each bit of the road. The map was originally populated from OpenStreetMap. It has evolved from that time. It's been corrected. Various partners have added their own data. And at this point in time, the only way that you can add data or delete data is by modifying those shape files, which can be downloaded in the same way that you were shown that a CSV file can be downloaded. A shape file for a country can also be downloaded. And if you have a GIS application, you can change parts of that shape file, and then because it has to be checked, it has to be sent back through the help desk to be uploaded by the developers, because it has to be checked before it can be uploaded. This means that if you don't have access to a GIS application, you cannot change the shape files that are already in EWayMap. Now, for this last year, we've done some updates for some countries who didn't have that capability, but there is no ongoing resource to enable us to do that sort of GIS work. So somehow you have to find a way to get access to a GIS application. At one point we said we could do it from ACAD, CAD files, but no one was even able to give us those, and we ended up having to manually draw them. We just don't have the resources to do that. So if you want, if you can give me the screen, I can go on to the actual application and show how to do some things.
Yes. Tilo, can you do it? Yeah, thanks.
I'm not sure how long it takes for the screen to come up.
I can see a screen. Yeah.
Okay, you can see my screen.
Yes, and if you choose the participant view, I'm not sure. Are you going over the phone maybe? But there is a section in the control panel where you can have the same, the screen of the participants is mirrored, so you can see what they can see.
View high screen. This is your screen, apparently.
Okay.
Why have you got that? Can you drag that onto there?
No, it's showing my wrong screen. So how? Is that showing EWmap now?
No.
Yes, the login.
Okay. So I'm going right from logging in on the basis this is where people will start. So the first thing I have to do is say, yes, I agree to the terms of usage. You can see the terms of usage here before you log in, which we wouldn't expect you to log in without knowing that. So I'm logging in with a country level login at the moment. So it comes into the home screen. I will go to Corridor, because country in fact is historic data and Corridor is where we have the current mapping. So that will then come up and will take a little time to draw. So this is the screen you've already seen. So just some hints to people. If you're moving around, you can move around in Navigate. It zooms as to wherever your cursor is. So I can zoom into the UK. It happens a lot quicker on my screen than it does on yours. So it zooms at the point your cursor is at. You need to zoom in close enough if you're trying to select elements, because it has a habit if you're not close enough of selecting multiple elements. And you can then select elements, as Annette said, and you can do whatever you want to them, they come up. And the other thing is this is where you can download in the same way that Annette generated a CSV. You can then generate a shape file. So if I generate that for the UK, which is just taking its time to do because the UK is quite big. And I think we have more people on there or something than we did before because it's taking longer. That will generate a zip file, which contains all the elements that someone with GIS needs in order to modify that, which includes all the attribute data. So everything that has been put in about what the roads are and things, their names and everything else can be changed from that. The CSV format is a little different to the United Kingdom, and it is for anyone who's put in data before, in that the purely numeric references that you saw in the earlier demonstration, these ones here starting with 2.8 and things, we actually have our unique references that we already use in the UK for our roads, and Scotland have their unique references. So it makes it much easier for us to link this data to national databases, because we don't have to know where on the map it is, because it's using a national reference scheme. And that's the principal reason why we used our own data sets, because it makes it easier for us to update them in the future. And I think everything else I was going to say, to be honest, was said by the earlier presenters. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Just one question from my side. Can I briefly, that's the group feature. I think this is a powerful feature, and you had in your You mentioned, Hartley, that groups can, of course, can only be created through the help desk, but you should, every corridor, from my point of view, should consider creating a number of groups, which then, for instance, could represent single projects, like larger sections or network, sections of network control, of traffic management plans, etc. And then you can, of course, much easier do evaluations or reporting about this specific project in the context of the total EWMap.
We can very freely produce them. If you ask the help desk, we just need to know what it's called, because then as soon as one's produced, if you go to Arc Atlantique, you can just, it shows you where the Arc Atlantique is, and you can look at the one you've already got, and then you can zoom into a road that's within your corridor area, and you can just very simply, using the link function, if I go to select first, you can just choose a road and link it as Annette showed, and you can select multiple roads. You can take, it may even be easier to take your existing corridor, and then you can take, I'd have to check how we can do this with the developer, but we may be able to produce a group that you can then copy a group, so you can then delete elements from it. We'd have to think about how we do that. We haven't tried it yet, but that's the sort of thing which, if people want us to do, it's the sort of thing which we can think about. And we've also, just within groups, what hasn't been shown is we have already imported from 10T data. We have all the 10 tech corridors already in there, so the designated routes from their official mapping are already existing within, and you can also view those within the overview mapping, so that you can see whether a road which is part of your corridor is on the official designation.
Hartley, just to confirm, Wouter just wrote in the chat that it is possible to easily duplicate groups, so that's possible.
So that might be that's the sort of thing which, it's fairly easy for us to, tell us what it is you want to do, and some of the things are quite easy for us to do, other things are more complicated, but if you say what we want to do, we can tell you what we can accommodate easily within the capabilities we currently have. So that has to go through the help desk. So you go to the help desk, and then we sort of, if need be, will interpret what you're saying, talk to you, find out how it, exactly what it is you want to do, and sort of put it in the language that we know with the developers of what we know we can do. Which is, as you just heard, Walter's immediately come back and said, yes, we can do that. That's the sort of dialogue we have with him all the time. Any further questions?
Yes, there's a question from Ronald. So, Ronald, you should be unmuted now, so present your question yourself, please.
My question is, we are working on the East-West corridor, and Latvia and Poland are not yet in. I think you can show that on the with the East-West corridor map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up now.
You can see that Poland and Latvia are not in, so they first have to send the shapefile, correct?
So I'm seeing,
Poland's got one route.
there seems to be one road in Poland that's included.
Yeah, but that just loose ends.
So I don't.
I guess there is just one road linked to the East-West corridor. That doesn't mean that there is no Polish road network yet.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh?
Well, the Polish road network is now up. It seems to be it's the red road network on the screen. It seems to be very minimal.
There's nothing
Yes.
to click. Right.
So
It's
it's
only-
not a complete network. So last week, Poland said they had a shapefile ready, but did you receive it already?
So I didn't
Any
hear
of you?
that. I didn't
Did any
hear
of
what
the-
they sent you.
They should have sent the shapefile. But I
Right.
don't know to whom exactly.
I'm not aware that we've received that. I have to ask, Walter, have you received it?
Walter, you can speak. You're unmuted now.
We're looking, Ronald. We're looking. It's Paul here. We're looking into it. I'm not aware that we've received it, but we'll have a look.
Okay. Let's
No,
have contact.
And we'll liaise with Walter. I can't see anything.
Okay.
I'm not. I just looked in the help desk inbox. I can't see anything there at the moment.
Maybe they could, if I may come in here, they should make sure that they send again to the help desk mailbox. So maybe it has been lost. What I would like to also communicate is that we would try to speed up a little bit. I think we have done most of our agenda, but not all of it, and I don't want to skip the part with the reporting. Hartley, are you finished with your part right now? If I may ask?
Yes. Hartley's finished.
Okay.